Thank you, Indrani. And now I'd like to call upon the next speaker for this session, Mr. G.B. Forbes, the principal of Bharatiya Vidya Bhawan.
Respected Chief Guest, there is a small correction. My speech is not about life before life, but it is on Sayana Vimshottari Dasa. Now, admittedly, you all will be surprised as to what is Sayana Vimshottari Dasa. We know what is Niryana Vimshottari Dasa, but before I embark on Sayana Vimshottari Dasa, I would like to give you a brief introduction of the difference between Niryana and Sayana. You see, the Indian astrologers believe and go by the facet that the zodiac is fixed, achalit. And the Western astrologers say that in this universe there is nothing which is fixed. Every single thing, even the zodiac, has some motion, however infinitely small it may be. The zodiac has a motion of about 4950 seconds per year, and therefore it moves at the rate of 1 degree in 72 years. That is also based on the Saptarshi Ganna of timing. But the most important thing is that in Sayana, there is basically no difference between the planets and the years allocated to each planet. You know that in Indian, we have Achanku, Raji, Shambhu, Keshu, which is Aditya, Chandra, Rahu, Achanku, Kuja, Raji, Jupiter, and all the other planets which go right up to Venus. There is no change in this order in the Sayana system also. And moreover, my guru, late Shri Gopal Krishnamurti, who was the previous principal of Bharatiya Vidya Bhawan, have made this table and given it to us, which when we follow, at least I have been following this for more than 25 years, and it has given me very, very good results. I'll let you know later on as to which specific aspects it has given good results. But before we go into this, I have told you that I would like to discuss the difference between Niryana and Sayana zodiacs. You see, in the ancient, very, very ancient times, the zodiac was just one sthir, achalit, fixed zodiac. And according to the Western astrologers, the zodiac is not fixed, but it is moving, it is fluctuating. And this was at one and the same point of time in the remotest past. And ever since then, the fixed zodiac remains where it is, and the moving zodiac moves anti-clockwise, and today it is at about this angle, which is called as the precession of the equinox or Ainausha. This is the basic difference between the Niryana and the Sayana zodiacs. Now, in Niryana, we go by the nakshatras. From 0 degrees Aries to 13.20 is Ashwini, so on and so forth. And Ashwini is given the rulership of Ketu. In Sayana, we don't have any descriptions of idea of nakshatras, concept of nakshatras. But in Sayana, we divide the zodiac into equal parts of 13.20 degrees, which is the span of each nakshatra, and the 0 degrees Aries to 13.20 Aries is ruled by Sun, which is as it should be, because as you know, and the entire Sayana system is based on Sun. And therefore, you have, next slide please, you have this table which we have formed. And Aries, Leo and Sagittarius 0 to 13 degrees is Sun, and then Sun, Moon, Mars, etc. And the same number of years, 6, 10, 7, 18, that remains in the Western system also. To simplify it further, we have given the motion per degree, per minute and per second. Now we go to a live case. Suppose if someone's Sayana moon, please remember Sayana moon is at Taurus 25 degrees 23 minutes and 49 seconds, then when a reference is made to the above table, it reveals that since the longitude of the moon falls between 23, 20, 40, the dasha of Jupiter is running at birth. Now if we take this, next slide, if we take this, we deduct 23, 20 degrees of Jupiter from 25, 23 minutes of moon. Then we get 2 degrees, 3 minutes and 49 seconds, which is the remainder. When we use the table again and do it from days per degree, 438 into 2, 876, days per minute, 7.30 into 3, 21.90, and days per second, 0.12 into 49 is 5.88. When we add the 3 together, we get 903.78. We round it off to the nearest full number, which is 904. And we divide by 365 days of the year. We get 2 years, 5 months, and 21 days as the remainder. And this is the Bhukta Dasha, which has already gone past. And we deduct this from 16 years, 0 month and 0 days, 2 years, 5 months and 21 days. We get what is left is 13 years, 6 months and 9 days. Now this is the Bhogya Dasha, or the Dasha of Jupiter, which is yet remaining after birth or at birth. And then the Dashas of the chronological order will follow, and we will get to know exactly on which day what Dasha, Antara Dasha will remain. The Antara Dasha system is more or less the same as the Indian system, and I will shortly discuss with you the techniques of judgment of Dashas, which is not here in this presentation. First of all, as discussed in the, now this I have taken from my book, from my first year book, basic textbook of astrology for first year Jyotirvid students. So I have referred over there, as discussed in the chapter of yogas, the benefics, malefics and neutrals should be critically evaluated. It is not only the Naisargic or natural benefics, malefics and neutrals, but even in the chart which is considered, if we use the Parashara rules, that will also apply. The houses tenanted by the Mahadasha and Antaradasha Lord should also be kept in mind. If the Dasha, Antaradasha is of 6th, 8th, 12th, obviously it will not be that effective. Then the houses owned by the Mahadasha, Antaradasha should not be lost sight of. This is very, very, very important. Then in Niryana, we have the concept of Yoga Karaka planets with reference to Lagna. For example, for Sun Lagna, Saturn is the Yoga Karaka planet, being the lord of the Kendra and Kona. Now the same concept applies in Sayana also. Please remember, I say with folded hands, do not get carried away by Indian concepts that we know. Yoga Karaka is an Indian concept. But Varahamihir, throughout his works, has never ever mentioned the words Ainausha. And therefore, whatever Varahamihir has said applies to Sayana also, which is Sayana. Then the aspects received by the Dasha Lord, the quality of the aspecting planets, as well as the nature of aspects itself are crucial. The sixth point to be borne in mind is the aspects given by the Dasha Lords to other planets, and the nature of such planets are also extremely important. The lordships of the Kendras and the Konas should always be kept in mind. The position of Dasha Lords versus vis-a-vis the Lords of the Dusthanas should also be noted. The Parivartana or the mutual reception, if any, between the Dasha Lords is also a factor to be reckoned with very strongly. Ascertain the relationship between the Mahadasha and the Antaradasha according to Panchavargiya Bal. Now please don't think that Panchavargiya Bal is the sole prerogative of Niryan. It is there in the Sayana also, and you will benefit tremendously if you follow the Panchata Maitri according to the Sayana chart as well. Then ascertain the strength of the Dasha Lords as per sign and house positions. A planet which is weak, for example, is of no use in that if it is the major Dasha or the Antara Dasha Lord. Now this is very important, if in order of Mahadashas, the fourth happens to be that of Saturn, the fifth happens to be that of Mars or Rahu, or the sixth happens to be that of Jupiter, such Dasha usually proves to be disastrous for the native. This is also there in the Niryana system, this is also there in the Western system. The midpoint of any Dasha, now this is the most important, and I have seen this happening, giving me fruit in predictive astrology. The midpoint of any Dasha is referred to as the period of Dasha Chidra, and almost invariably proves to be dangerous. Now, in order, Saturn's Antara Dasha in Sun's Mahadasha or Sun's Antara in Saturn's Mahadasha is extremely dangerous. Mercury's Antara Dasha in Mars's Mahadasha and Mars's Mahadasha Antara in Mercury's Mahadasha is also fraught with danger. Venus Antara in Jupiter's Mahadasha and Jupiter's Antara in Venus's Mahadasha also proves disastrous. In my own case, Jupiter's Mahadasha and Venus's Antaradasha was running at the time when my father passed away. And father is the 10th house, Venus is the lord of my 10th, and the 8th lord is Pisces, which is Jupiter, and in Jupiter's is Mahadasha, Venus is Antaradasha. Sometime in 1972-73, my dad passed away. Ketu's Antaradasha in Rahu's Mahadasha and Rahu's Antaradasha in Ketu's Mahadasha also proves extremely, extremely dangerous. And finally, Mercury's plus Ketu's Antaradasha in Moon's Mahadasha should also be guarded and watched very, very carefully. Then the Dasha of a planet in Rashi Sandhi, that is junctional point of Rashis, signs, normally does not give good results. This is there in Niryana also, this is there in Sayana also. The result of the Mahadasha of retrograde planets requires great attention of the astrologer. Now believe me, retrograde planets are extremely, extremely important. And generally speaking, retrograde planets always makes us think of what we have left over of the previous life or karma, and that is to be attended to in this lifetime, even when we have to leave something that we are doing, and still if we have to go back. So retrograde planets are very important. Then the bindus obtained by a planet in Ashtaka Varga. Ashtaka Varga is considered to be a Niryan concept, but it is there in the Western chart also. Will also indicate whether the dasha will prove good or harmful. Judge the results of the dashas based on the age of the native at that time compared to the overall assessment and strength of the chart. to think of a marriage of a child is inconceivable. And to think of, there are yogas of Vruddhavastha and Balyavastha, financial losses and gains. But the period which he is going through in his life are very important as far as judgment of dashas is concerned. Antaras of Maraka planets generally give evil results. Now, we know what is Maraka planet. 7th house, 2nd house, 3rd house, they are all Maraka houses, and their lords, etc. also give bad results. If during the Mahadasha and Antaradasha of planets, Sun and Jupiter, now this is another important point, Sun and Jupiter transits the exaltation point of that planet, extreme good results can be expected if the two lords are favorably placed towards one another. Else, at least the intensity of the evil results will be greatly reduced. The results of different Antaradasha in major Antaradasha is of routine importance, which is given in every standard text and can be followed. Now, I know I may have stirred a hornet's nest by talking about Sayana Vimshottari Dasa, but my Guru, late Mr. Modi, has ingrained it so very much in my mind, and I have applied this religiously for the last 20-25 years, and it has proved extremely beneficial to me. So this is not something which is to be thrown away and not discarded, but apply this religiously, follow the rules of the game, and you will know that it gives extremely pinpointed results. Thank you very much. I hope I have not taken too much time, sir. And thank you very much.
You have done very well, and you have drawn attention to a very good point. Way back in '93, on Anansha itself, there was a conference in Delhi. All agreed on one point, but thereafter they went back and they started the Anansa of their own. What has been the result? I will just give one example. My Chief Justice was to be elevated to the Supreme Court. One of the stalwarts said that his Venus Dasha and the Subdasha would start in October '97. He was to retire in March. I said, how I was a very small guy. I'm still a small guy. I'm a student. I said, sir, I think it should be around 7th March. On 7th March, it did not occur. Then I was troubled, for he was my mentor. I just went to Prashastri. He said that on 20th March, either 12 hours on this side or 12 on the other side, he will take over in Supreme Court as Supreme Court judge. And that happened. What was supposed by a stalwart, that his elevation shall take place in October '97. I said in the month of March, with my small experience, that did not take place, because I gave 15 days margin to my faults, only on account of Anansha. But that took place after 12 days or 15 days. Mind it, whenever you give pinpoint predictions, keep some margin for your own sake. And for the sake of all of us, we will have to undertake a large number of experiments on different anansa. Otherwise, people will dislike to believe us. We will not believe us. So you have done very well by inviting our attention. And I expect all of us, taken together, collect 1,000 horoscopes, work on different ananshas, shanansas, and other shan paddhati and the other paddhati. And then we shall come to know. After all, scientists make research. Why we cannot? If we can, we will be always smiling. Otherwise, someday, we will have to make faces. Thank you very much. All the best. No, you are elder. You are elder.
इंडिया का दोनों ही जस्टिस कपूर साहब और भारतीय विद्या भवन का प्रिंसिपल जीबी फोर्ब्स जी दोनों ही लेजेंडरी एस्ट्रोलॉजर है। इन दोनों को देख के सुन के हम लोग बड़े हुए हैं, कुछ सीखे। तो दोनों ही लेजेंडरी एस्ट्रोलॉजर है, जस्टिस कपूर जी और जीबी फोर्ब्स जी। इन दोनों के लिए जोरदार ताली से इनका स्वागत किया जाए। To Justice Kapoor Sahab and Mr. G.B. Forbes, two are the legendary astrologers of India. इनको इनके किताब, इनको लेक्चर सुन के हम लोग बड़े हुए, हम लोग कुछ सीखे, हम लोग सीख पाए। तो दोनों ही आज हम लोगों के साथ ये सेमिनार में आया। ये कृष्णमूर्ति इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एस्ट्रोलॉजी के लिए हम लोग बहुत लकी मानते हैं। थैंक यू सर।
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
This will